Hey, everybody, welcome back to Lettermen Row. This is Bold Predictions. I'm Austin Ward. That's Jeremy Birmingham and Spencer Holbrook with our weekly tradition, previewing and predicting the next Ohio State game. We actually did record a video last week.
Yeah.
It was very elaborate. We brought a Illabuck with us. Berm made a prediction that wound up being accurate, but nobody ever saw it. Berm, you get full marks for that one, even though they didn't see it. He stood in front of the camera and said, "Nobody is going to see this video. The game is going to be canceled." Congratulations, Berm. You did it.
Thank you. And I actually want to be clear that my prescience was so present that I actually said that on Tuesday. And we didn't catch any wind of stuff happening in the world of the COVID until Wednesday. So I was actually probably the reason the game got canceled. So I'm sorry, everyone, for that. But it was actually Tim May's fault.
Yeah, you both, was it the same day? Both sit there and ask Pete Warner about them staying clean, and then you just go ahead and jump to the next level and say it's going to be canceled. That's on you. I can't believe that you wanted to win bold predictions so badly that you got the Buckeyes game canceled. You deserved to make that drive to Champaign with me.
I'm a competitive person, Austin, and so if that's what it takes, so what? I mean, I'll make that drive to Champaign again.
Let's not.
I don't want to. I don't want to ever do that again. I don't ever want to go to Champaign, Illinois ever again.
All right, let's not do that. And since you won, you don't get to go first this week because you got the game canceled. Ohio State still on track to play Michigan State on Saturday at noon.
Mm-hmm.
The Buckeyes need this one to stay on track to the current Big Ten rules for the 6-game minimum to win the conference title, which is a pointless, stupid rule, but it still exists right now, just along with the 21-day rule and 10-day rule that will keep Ryan Day out and any player who tested positive last week throughout the rest of the regular season. So a lot of uncertainty to deal with for the Buckeyes on Saturday, and a lot of uncertainty for us to deal with as we make our bold predictions. And Spencer's going to start that now.
My first bold prediction is that Jackson Smith and Jigba will have more receiving yards than Chris Olave. I just think this is a good time for him to have a breakout game. I think he's been building toward that. He has a few catches here and there, but I think he just is going to find some opportunities. I feel like it's been coming for a while, and I just think he's going to have a nice game. And that's not to say Chris Olave won't have a nice game, but they know exactly what Chris Olave can do, and to get another guy involved and to feel confident in another guy on the field, maybe they find him a couple more opportunities.
Wow, that's big.
Wow. Yeah, that's big and bold.
Berm, can you top that?
350 yards passing and 5 touchdowns for Justin Fields through the air on Saturday. Weather's supposed to be relatively nice for Michigan State. It'll be cold, but it's not supposed to be windy. It's supposed to be in the high 30s at game time. I think that it'll be sunny, and Justin Fields is probably a little bit ready to exercise the demons that happened against Indiana. And I think that this is the time for him to do it against Michigan State, who's coming off, their defense has actually played pretty well for Michigan State this year, as you'd expect it, but they've not played anyone like Justin Fields and the Ohio State receiver. So I'm going to 350 and 5 tutties through the air for JF1.
Did Mark D'Antonio not bequeath his power over the weather to Mel Tucker?
He did not, apparently. It's still going to be obviously cold. It's East Lansing on December 5th for some reason. But that's what we're faced with. So 5 tutties, 350 through the air for Justin Fields.
All right, something that I talked about that never saw the light of day last week was that Ohio State was going to need to address the situation at safety. And Ryan Day and Kerry Combs last week had talked about playing different combinations. This was before everything went haywire. We'll still have to wait and see exactly what the availability report reveals for these Buckeyes. But one way or the other, I think you will see different faces at safety. And one that I expect could make the most out of that opportunity is Ronnie Hickman. So I don't know exactly what's going to happen. I'm trying to peer into the crystal ball. I just think he's going to leave this game having made the most of that opportunities, maybe 6-7 tackles, a PBU, maybe an interception. I don't know, because Rocky Lombardi loves to really serve that football up on a silver platter for defensive backs. The dude is a pick machine. So if you get to play in the Ohio State secondary, you got a really good chance of coming out with an interception. I think that Hickman needs to see the field more. He's shined in a couple opportunities on special teams. He's been, kind of bottom in that mix of getting in defensively. When Ohio State has subbed there at safety, which hasn't been that much, this is an opportunity where this is not a team that should truly challenge Ohio State in the secondary, but you still have to get those reps and where you show improvement against teams where you should dominate. I think Ronnie Hickman can make the most of it, and maybe it'll be a little bit of a rewind back to when Brendan White did the same thing when they finally made a change a couple years ago in the secondary. That really sparked the secondary. I think you can see some similarities in the way those two might play, but we're going to have to actually, evaluate that in a live setting before we get to that. So I think Ronnie Hickman shines. I know that that's a little bit vague for a bold prediction, but I think that that's a key change in an area where, you'll leave this game for Ohio State where they might feel like they've got a different answer there. Round 2, Spencer.
Austin, I want to say that I do like your prediction because I think if somebody just plays conservative and can tackle in the secondary and take good angles, I think they'll have a good chance of leaving the game feeling better about the safety situation. So if Ronnie Hickman's the guy to do it, I like that.
Right.
I'm going to stay on the defensive side of the ball. I think Shaun Wade's going to have a really nice game. I think he and Sevyn Banks both really put it together in this game. I'm not going to even act like Rocky Lombardi is a worthy passer to say Ohio State's secondary is back, but I think that maybe each of them have an interception. Let's just make that a bold prediction. They'll try both sides because teams don't seem to be fearing Shaun Wade very much. And I think they're still underselling Shaun's ability to play corner. So I'm going to say an interception on both sides at cornerback this week. I think Sevyn Banks has been playing really well, actually, compared to the rest of the secondary and relative to what maybe our expectations were for opposite of Shaun Wade this year. And Shaun is Shaun. So I'm just going to give them both an interception.
Just going to give him that, huh? Nice. Yeah, the 12 days of Christmas beginning over here already. Jeremy Ruckert is going to catch 3 touchdown passes against Michigan State.
No fullback.
None of them from the fullback position. None of them from the fullback position. Okay. He will do it entirely out of the tight end position that he has played every day since he arrived at Ohio State. And I think that you will see him really – and here's the other part of this. It's going to start up the chatter again about Ruckert to the NFL after his junior season, which has, to this point, been pretty quiet. But I think that you're going to see him take the offense to a different level. 3 touchdowns for Jeremy Ruckert.
Someone's going to catch 3 touchdown passes in this game, but it's not going to be Jeremy Ruckert. It's going to be Garrett Wilson. You almost have to rule him out. Maybe I shouldn't be allowed to pick him for bold predictions because his numbers have been so crazy, and you can see just it's unfair. There's nobody in the country, I think, that's equipped to stop this Ohio State passing attack. But Garrett Wilson is the one that's really upping the ante for them because you're going to put a linebacker on him. Well, you're dead. A safety? No. You're going to put a corner inside. All right, well, you still have to deal with Jamison Williams and Chris Olave on the perimeter. We've talked about that going into the season. That was the reason why Ohio State wanted to make this move. It has worked out far better than I ever could have imagined. Garrett Wilson, if he had got to play, the numbers that he could put up, he probably would have broken every Ohio State receiving record that exists and maybe won the Bolitnikoff Award this year. That'll be a discussion for next season. And it's unfortunate for him, just the same way it is for Justin Fields with the Heisman race, that he probably won't get to play enough games to win some of these major awards. But there's almost nobody in the country that's playing any better at wide receiver. So he will score 3 times against Michigan State. Final prediction or score, Spencer?
I'll give my score first because it kind of goes into my prediction. I think Ohio State is going to come out with their hair on fire. I think you're going to be very angry with.
I hate. Have you guys ever smelled burning hair?
Oh my gosh,
it is awful. It's among the worst smells out there.
I'm just going to
keep. Anyway, sorry, Spencer. Go ahead.
I'm just going to keep giving my prediction then.
Okay, cool.
I don't remember what I predicted on Monday with my rare appearance on Lettermen Live, but I do believe it was something to the tune of 52-13. So I think that's where I'm going to land. I'm going to land at 52-13. I think Ohio State comes out and pitches a shutout in the first half and the third quarter. I think Michigan State finds a lucky score or two in the fourth quarter. But I think Ohio State's going to come out and absolutely dominate this team. And you're going to see a defensive line who's been hearing the chatter about not giving the quarterback enough. You're going to hear the secondary answer the bell, and the offense is the offense. So 52-13 with that's the bold prediction, a shutout first three quarters for the Ohio State defense.
Interesting. I'm not ready to move on to a score yet, guys. I'm sorry. I want to just dive into this. Baron Browning's going to score a defensive touchdown. Baron Browning's also going to have 2 sacks. Baron Browning's going to have the best game of his career, just so you know, because he just had the best game of his career, and that light that is on, and you're seeing finally what the 5-star prospect, number 1 ranked linebacker prospect type player could do. And so I think you're going to see him continue to excel. I think that you're going to also see the first rushing touchdown of the career of Trey Sermon at Ohio State, just so you know. I'm not going to make that a bold prediction because someone else that I know has done that here every single week, and I'm not going to even make it a bold prediction. I'm just going to say I think it's going to happen. What else? I think that the Buckeyes are going to be less reliant on the punt than they were the last time they played at Michigan State.
Wow. Yeah.
If you guys remember that 2018 debacle.
I'm afraid I do.
Let's see, what else?
Well, he's getting cocky now, Spencer.
I know.
Let me see. Jonathan Cooper's going to have a sack. Tommy Togiai is going to have a sack. The Buckeyes are going to have 6 total sacks against Michigan State. What else?
I think we're heading towards a 91-0 is where this is going.
It's coming to me. Hold on. One more thing. Garrett Wilson's going to return a punt for a touchdown.
I'm keeping track of touchdowns here.
All right. 56-20 final score.
So this Ohio State defense that is scoring, it's racking up 6 sacks, is still going to allow 20 points?
Yeah, I mean, I think that it is what it is in the secondary right now. I think that even though Michigan State is going to turn the ball over and Rocky Lombardi isn't good at playing quarterback, I think that they know that the way to try to beat Ohio State is they're going to have to chuck it all over the field. And I do like the Michigan State receivers a little bit. I think they got a couple young guys that are pretty talented. That number 7, what's his name? Cody White, right? Ricky White, whatever. He's pretty good. I think that they have the gumption to just chuck it down the field like they did against Michigan. And the way that the Buckeyes secondary has played so far this year, I think that allows for a hit or two, but certainly it allows for a turnover or 2 as well. And 56-20 Buckeyes. Punt return touchdown, defensive touchdown, and 5 touchdown passes for Justin Fields and a touchdown run for Trey Sermon.
Whoa. He even stuck the Trey Sermon one in there.
I know. That's a lot to unpack and a lot of predictions that you're trying to steal from me. Just
I really this is about putting you on the spot to have to choose something new this week.
Not cool. Well, guess what? You left one. There is going to be a defensive touchdown, and Josh Proctor is going to score it. So mark that off on your bingo card.
So not Ronnie Hickman.
No, he's got to have a pick, but I didn't say he was going to take it back to the house. Like Rocky.
How many picks are you predicting?
4.
Wowzers.
Yeah.
All right.
That's the correct answer.
Have you watched him play? We're talking about Ohio State secondary. Yes, they've had some problems in the second half. Nobody's going to deny that. Ohio State is still playing most of the game at a very high level. They haven't got to a 4-quarter game at this point. That's fine. I understand. But,
okay.
They're playing more than well.
I understand. Rocky Lombardi, more like it.
You said it, buddy. You said it.
Glad you've gotten that in there.
What is my score going to be? It's obviously different than what I said on Monday. It's constantly changing and evolving. 45-7 will be my
only
new
45
prediction.
Points.
What?
Only 45 points.
I think this is a situation partly influenced by getting in and out of town as quickly as possible. We also don't know every player that's going to be available yet, how that might impact things. Ryan Day's not going to be there to call plays. This might be a straightforward get a win, get into next week and then start worrying about the game, or if you have to find somebody to replace the Wolverines on that following Saturday. They don't need style points. I tried to make that point repeatedly with the college football playoff. The selection committee doubled down on that this week with leaving Ohio State at number 4. As long as they win the games that they get to play, they're going to be in the playoff. They don't have to, have throttled Rutgers or, stayed 4 touchdowns ahead of Indiana. The eye test has been passed. Everybody knows how good Ohio State is. If they beat Michigan State by 1, if they beat Michigan by 1, if they beat Northwestern, Wisconsin, or Iowa by 1, they're going to go in. That's just a simple fact at this point. So I don't know that Ohio State will be worried about that. They're obviously much better than 1 point better than all 3 of those teams, but they're not going to be trying to extend that game any longer than necessary or rack up stats or style points to impress people. They don't need to. They need to get in and out of East Lansing as fast as possible. And I hope to do the same when we travel up there to cover that game Saturday at noon. First of all, hope it gets played after I get there. That wasn't the case last week. Hopefully we get to use this bold predictions video. That wasn't the case last week. Hopefully this season comes to a fitting conclusion as well. That's Spencer Holbrook. I'm Austin Ward. This has been Bold Predictions for Lettermen Row. We'll see you next time.